Dear students, welcome to this digital lecture series. The topic of today's discussion is nuclear physics, and in that we are going to see nuclear reactions. Consider a nuclei of an heavy element denoted by capital X. It is called the target nuclei, and a small particle which is called projectile denoted by small x. Now a target nuclei is a nuclei of larger mass, and a projectile is a small particle whose mass is very small but whose energy is very large. When a projectile having large energy is incident on a target nuclei which is at rest, then as a product we get a product nuclei denoted by capital Y and the product particle denoted by small y. Remember that the target nuclei is having a large mass. Projectile is having very small mass but very high energy. Product nuclei and the product particle, which are the products of the nuclear reaction, they are of comparable masses. So the overall nuclear reaction can be denoted by X plus X giving Y plus Y. The nuclear reaction is also denoted by capital X in bracket small x, small y, and outside the bracket capital Y, where capital X is the target nuclei, small x is the projectile, capital Y is the product nuclei, small y is the product particle. So how can a nuclear reaction be defined? When a target nuclei of large mass is bombarded with a projectile having small mass but very large energy, then the characteristics of the target nuclei is completely changed and we get product nuclei and product particle which are of comparable masses. This process is called nuclear reaction. Now the concept of Q value of a nuclear reaction. The Q value of a nuclear reaction is defined as the amount of energy that is released or absorbed during the nuclear reaction. Or the Q value of a nuclear reaction can also be defined as the difference between the kinetic energy after the nuclear reaction and kinetic energy before the nuclear reaction. The Q value of a nuclear reaction, it can be positive or it can be negative. Now consider a simple nuclear reaction X plus X giving Y plus Y. Now here capital X is the target nuclei and it is of heavy mass and it is assumed to be at rest. Small x is the projectile particle. It is made incident on the target nuclei. Its mass is small but energy is very high. Capital Y is the product nuclei and small y is the product particle. Now if the kinetic energy of these particles is denoted by T, then T small x will be the kinetic energy of projectile, T capital Y the kinetic energy of product nuclei, and T small y kinetic energy of the product particle. Now remember that Tx capital X, this is equal to 0 since it represents the kinetic energy of the target nuclei and we have assumed that the target nuclei is at rest. So kinetic energy after the nuclear reaction means after the products are formed. So it is equal to T capital Y plus T small y given by equation 1. Kinetic energy before the nuclear reaction is T small x because the target nuclei is assumed to be at rest. Now the Q value, according to definition, the Q value of nuclear reaction is the difference between kinetic energy after the nuclear reaction and kinetic energy before the nuclear reaction. So equation 1 minus equation 2, we can get the Q value of the nuclear reaction, and it is given by equation number 3. Now, if capital M denotes the rest masses of the particle, then M capital X, M small x, M capital Y, M small y, this will give the rest masses of the target nuclei, the projectile, the product nuclei and the product particle respectively. Now, for a moving particle, the total energy of that particle is the sum of its rest mass energy, E is equal to mc square plus its kinetic energy. We all know that if a particle is in motion, it has kinetic energy. But because of the mass it has got, it also possesses some energy which is given by the Einstein's mass energy relation, E is equal to mc square, and that energy is called the rest mass energy. So for a moving particle, the total energy of that particle will be the sum of its rest mass energy and its kinetic energy. So the total energy before the nuclear reaction, it is denoted by E1, and it is equal to the rest mass before the nuclear reaction. So it is M capital X plus mx multiplied by c square plus the kinetic energy of projectile T small x. Total energy after the nuclear reaction is denoted by E2, and it is equal to total rest mass, that is the rest mass of product nuclei and product particle multiplied by c square plus their kinetic energies. So the difference in energy is given by E2 minus E1. And if you substitute the value, we get E2 minus E1. This is equal to the expression given by equation 6. Now by the law of conservation of energy, the total energy before the nuclear reaction should be equal to the total energy after the nuclear reaction. So E2 should be equal to E1, and if E2 is equal to E1, we can get E2 minus E1 is equal to 0. So from equation 6, if you put E2 minus E1 is equal to 0, and if you make the necessary rearrangement, we get expression 8. Now look at expression 8 and remember the expression 3. The left hand side is nothing but the difference between the kinetic energy after the nuclear reaction and the kinetic energy before the nuclear reaction. So left hand side in the equation 8 is nothing but the Q value of the nuclear reaction. So from equation 3 and 8, we can write the Q value of a nuclear reaction. It is equal to M capital X plus M small x into C square minus M capital Y plus M small y into C square. If you observe the equation number 9, then we see that the Q value of the nuclear reaction depends only on the masses of the participating particles. Now the participating particles means the target nuclei, the projectile, the product nuclei and the product particle. The masses of these four particles will determine the Q value of the nuclear reaction. Now see case 1. If the initial mass, that is the mass of the target nuclei and the projectile, is greater than the mass of product nuclei and the product particle, then from the expression number 9 we see that the Q value will be positive. So what does this Q value is positive indicates? If the Q value of a nuclear reaction is positive, it means that energy is released in the form of heat in that particular nuclear reaction. And whenever heat energy is released, then such reactions are called exergic or exothermal. Now case 2, if the initial mass, sum of initial mass is less than the sum of final mass, that is mx plus m small x, it is less than m capital Y plus m small y, then the Q value is negative. And if the Q value of the nuclear reaction is negative, it means energy is absorbed in that nuclear reaction in the form of heat. Such nuclear reactions where energy is absorbed, they are called endoergic or endothermal. So next we see the concept of threshold energy. We have seen that when the highly energetic projectile is incident on the target nuclei, then we get product nuclei and product particle. But this does not take place all the time. There is some limitation with respect to the energy of projectile particle. If the energy of projectile particle is not sufficient, then nuclear reaction may not take place. The minimum energy of the projectile particle that is required for the nuclear reaction to take place is called threshold energy. Cross section of a nuclear reaction, it is denoted by sigma. The effective area that is presented by the target nuclei to the incident projectile particle for the nuclear reaction is called the cross section of nuclear reaction. The cross section of nuclear reaction has dimension of area and its unit is barn. 1 barn is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 28 meters square. So what is the significance of cross section of a nuclear reaction? It gives the probability of occurrence of a nuclear reaction. Means a particular nuclear reaction will take place. How much is the probability of that nuclear reaction? That is given by the value of cross section of the nuclear reaction. Now there are two theories which explain the nuclear reaction. The first one is the compound nucleus theory. Now according to compound nucleus theory, when a projectile of small mass but very high energy is incident on the target nuclei, then there is a collision between the target nuclei and the projectile, and because of the high energy, the projectile enters into the target nuclei. So now the target nuclei and projectile, they have combined, and so we get a compound nucleus. Now we have seen that the projectile is having very high energy. The energy of projectile is distributed among all the nucleons of the compound nuclei. So the nucleons now acquire energy, they begin to oscillate, and therefore the compound nucleus as a whole becomes unstable. Now all the nucleons are oscillating, they are vibrating. Therefore, the compound nucleus has become unstable, and the nucleons which are on the surface, they get emitted out, and because of this we get the product nuclei and the product particle. This is one theory, compound nucleus theory, which explains the nuclear reaction. The other theory which explains the nuclear reaction is direct reaction theory. Now, in the direct reaction theory, it is said that the direct reaction takes place when the mass of projectile is very, very small as compared to the mass of the target nuclei, and the projectile is having very, very high energy. So, if the target nuclei is very of large mass, then we have seen that the nuclei consist of protons which are charged positively. Therefore, for a target nuclei, surrounding that target nuclei, there exists a strong electrostatic field around that target nuclei. Now, when a projectile is incident on such a target nuclei, then the strong electrostatic field of the target nuclei, it strips out or takes out the nucleons from the projectile. So how is this particular situation? A target nuclei is at rest. Surrounding that target nuclei, there is a strong electrostatic field, and a projectile is incident on this target nuclei. Now this strong electrostatic field, it rips out or takes out the nucleons from the projectile. Now therefore, the target nuclei also changes, and the projectile also changes, and in this process we get product nuclei and the product particle. So these are the two theories which explain the nuclear reaction. So that's all. Have a nice day.